Anchor's voice, okay?
Bro,
Hey,
this
there we go. I
mirror
got
is,
audio
like,
working
very
now.
long.
Like, I don't. Hey. Oh
Is
no!
this thing on?
Mm.
Is this thing on?
Yo.
Yeah, they're about to start lighting fireworks at my house.
Okay, it seems like it's on.
Do you wanna?
About to start lighting
We can find a
fires.
VR world.
Alright,
I'm sure there's
They're
a VR
about to
world
start
with
lighting
fireworks.
fires.
what do you have to
You
say?
want to start a
Fiona?
fireworks VR world?
Let's do it.
One world.
Hello, I am your local British man.
That means sea we're in.
I have
We
made
just, like,
crumpets.
sat there
I had
and then there were
crumpets and
fireworks
tea for dinner. It was very good. Actually, I had brunch.
I poked
It was
both your belly
actually
buttons.
eggs, crumpets,
Wait,
and
You
tea.
belong to me now.
Wait,
And I had a
like,
big
up the
bottle of
table.
water
You know what? I'm leaving.
right beside me.
Cool side fire.
You-
I will go into friends plus people can request
And
anything
in
they
this bottle of water,
want. Okay.
I just decided to put Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid?
And I did not put Kool-Aid in my bottle of water because I was
Kool-Aid in your
black. It was because
were you
I like
French?
Kool-Aid in my bottle of water.
Why do you not like it black?
I love my bottle of water.
We be back
And
at
here in England, we love our crumpets. We really, really love our crumpets. If you don't like your crumpets, we'll shank you, bro.
Are you actually British?
No. I almost said Brooklish. Thinking of people from Brooklyn.
Brooklish? Brooklish.
Brooklish.
We don't
Why
have
would you do that?
gangsters in the UK. We have
I'm
roadmen with shanks, and they'll shank you, bro.
Mistake.
We
Yeah,
run
roadmen.
around with shanks. No Glocks around for these cunts. Bye bye. Come to the
Yeah.
UK anytime, sweetheart.
Save me.
Oh my god.
Bit too much. Calm down.
Oh,
Hi.
hello.
Nice spinal cord.
Thank you. My mother made it for me.
Save me.
I will give you scoliosis. That's how bad I'm gonna bend it.
Excuse me?
Okay, we're gonna leave, man. We
Yeah,
said it.
yeah, you guys should leave because this guy right here that's right next to me.
She left.
Jesus
Don't
Christ.
worry, I'll leave as well soon. Just give me a minute.
No, this is fine. This is very fine. I promise. This is fine. This is very fine.
Don't worry, it's gonna be more fun for you. That's why I'm leaving this. You know, to
Yeah,
your
you
sons.
should.
No, don't leave.
Actually, don't
Please
leave me
be my
alone with this
friend.
guy. Don't leave me alone with this menace to
Be my
society.
friend. I need all my friends. I thought you was gonna slap me with your purse. I got so scared for a second. Okay,
Bro, you got PTSD?
don't leave me. This is fine. This is totally fine. Yeah, PTSD. You would not believe.
Listen, you two can just give it.
Believe your
You'll be fine.
You
Alright?
would not believe your eyes.
Enjoy your lives.
You would not believe your eyes. You would not believe your eyes. You would not believe your eyes. You would not. Ow! I hit my dresser. Mother, where would you like to go?
Where would you like to go?
Do you want to play games or do you like want to start a fucking podcast just right here?
We need to go to a
Like
podcast
we'll go to a
room.
beautiful world. Or we could go to a podcast room as well.
Alright, let's go to a podcast
What you want to
room.
do? Games or podcasts? What you want to do?
Podcast. I don't know how I will be able to send you the video
Alright,
though, because I do know it's gonna be like way too fucking big.
Yeah, I don't have Nitro.
I don't either.
YouTube.
Is podcast one word?
Yes.
Podcast studio. Jeez. Oh, 249 megabytes? Yeah, screw that. I NGITC podcast. NGT series. Alright. Can you stop sniffing my goddamn ear when I'm in my menu?
Add the snot rocket.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I got all this stuff ready.
What?
I'm ready. I got all this stuff ready.
Hey, this is sexy ass motherfucking sexy. Alright, what attire should I wear? We gonna this podcast a goofy series. Oh shit, I'm
Goofy
naked.
aw series.
Alright, I can't not have antlers. Does this look good?
I guess. What do you think I should wear?
Close.
Okay.
There we go.
Where the fuck did my thing go?
The Nardo podcast.
There we go. See, I look more.
I wish my chair was beside yours.
Yeah, but.
But this is the best one we found.
Yep. So what would you want to talk about?
We just gonna talk about random shit on this podcast.
Well, like, what do you think would be suitable for this podcast?
We just decision's hard. Sometimes I have no filter. So it's
It
like
doesn't matter,
sometimes
I'll
I
edit
just
them
speak my
out.
mind. Okay. Well, I'll start off with different genders. I don't know
Alright.
the pronouns of gender fluid people.
Alright.
And I don't know how being gender fluid works. The first time I ever heard gender fluid, I thought it was exchanging each other's fluids with each other, between a male and a female. I thought there was only two genders, and that was male and female. I didn't know there was trans, I didn't know there was asexual, pansexual, bi, all that stuff. But gender fluid. Shit!
You okay?
A firework just scared me.
A firework
But
just
gender
scared you?
fluid people. Yeah, it popped right by my window. But gender fluid people I struggle with the most. That's how I feel.
Well, like, it's because, like, if you think about it this way, right? It's like when you're talking to somebody that you are not aware of their situation, it's like, oh yeah, talk to me like a girl because I am one. But if it's your eye, usually, like, you're normally presented with, oh, this person's in, like, looks feminine, so I'm gonna call her a girl. This guy looks masculine, I'm gonna call him a guy. It's like painting your car black, but on the inside it was factory made as red. Like, does that kind of make sense? It's like, how am I supposed to know if that? So please don't yell at me for something that I, like, can't know unless someone tells me. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any other subjects that you want to talk about? Or you still want to keep on going?
Pronouns.
Pronouns, okay. What about pronouns?
I struggle with pronouns. Because some people sound like a guy, right? So when you sound like a guy, you normally think of like, oh yeah, this person's a dude. He's masculine. And then you check their bio and it's trans femme. And then, like, sometimes it slips out, you're like, he said, and then they get pissed because they got a deep-ass voice trying to be a girl.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because why would you want to be angry about something that you? It's not that we're not saying you can't be. It's just don't go punching people because of something that they wouldn't be able to understand sometimes. There's such thing as like deception, but if they truly think that they're
Right.
that person of a different gender of their body, the person's always going to assume that you're just the base gender of what you were born with. Nowadays, it's like you're scared to even say, "Hey, bro, can you help me?" or "Hey, girl, can you look at this?" It's more of like, "Hey, look, just come look at this,"
Yeah.
or you have to say their name.
Because you don't want to assume pronouns, because then they'll get offended.
Yeah, but the thing is that like, I don't think that I'm trying to assume pronouns. It's just how I talk. It's like lingo. If you say like, how you're just talking with your homeboy or something like that, and you're just like, "Hey, bro, come and look at this," or you're talking with let's say your mother, "Hey, mom," like you say that. It's like the same thing. Like if you talk with like a friend or just a random person on the street, you say like, "Hey, girl, like can you go and check this out?" To like separate them from somebody if they're in a huge crowd, you know. But the thing is that you can't really identify someone for who they are inside because all you see is them from the outside when you start looking at them, and it kind of is
Exactly.
getting out of hand at this point.
And I struggle, especially with the they them pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
That's my weakness. I can't, like, if you have they them pronouns, or yeah, if you have they them pronouns, that confuses me. Cause like that's like you having pronouns saying you was were.
Yeah.
Like, it's really confusing to me. Cause if you have they them pronouns, I'm like they said, or I don't even know when to say them. It's just what they like, or when do you say them?
Go and get them.
Oh, go and get that. But that's like not even. That's like calling yourself a thing, in my eyes.
I mean,
That's like you go get a cup, go get it. Like the cup doesn't have a gender, so when you're saying they
but it's like
them,
it's like this. It's like like don't worry about her, don't worry about him. It's saying don't worry about them. That's kind of like the difference between it.
ah,
Yeah.
I swear so many people are gonna be so offended that I just said that.
Well, I mean, coming from a perspective of, I mean, as two bisexual males who identify as bisexual males, I mean,
Yeah,
it's more of like it would be a lot different if you're straight and then we're just speaking our mind. Meanwhile, we're not trying to like harm anybody, you know. We're just trying to solve the problem or just trying to get down with whatever, you know, what's the big deal about it, you know? What's the big pent up aggression about all this stuff? And why is it so like, it's like everyone says like equal rights and then like gay pride lives matter and all that stuff. But like they already mattered in the first place, you know? But why such like a big rally of it now? Like
yeah. I think they overdo it with the gay pride stuff and the
and this is
parades and
coming from people who are not well, I don't think
the
I'm
community.
yeah.
I think they overdo it way too much with the gay pride.
Yeah, a little
Like
too
in
much.
my eyes, when I see a gay pride parade on TV or something like that,
Mhm.
it's like these guys are in, booty shorts and doing all this crazy stuff. Like they're barely wearing clothes
Yeah.
just to show that they're gay, and they're moving all weird and they're in heels. And I'm like, okay, you can be gay and proud in your house. Like
Yeah.
the whole world doesn't need to know you're gay. And like there's so many homophobic people in the world. So that's like painting like a big bullseye on your back with just walking around with rainbow stuff or bi flag stuff, or even walking around with a flag. Because kids like our generation, they're pretty bad. So like if you walk around with a flag, they'll take that shit and they'll burn it right in front of you, and you'll just get jumped and stomped on
And that's the problem
for
with
just
today's
wearing that
generation, you
stuff.
know? It's like growing so rapidly, but the violence against it is growing so rapidly with it.
Exactly. So that's why like the gay pride stuff in stores, like I don't know how to feel about it because like I'm bi, but no, I'm like nobody in the world needs to know that I'm bi. I'm proud of myself, you know.
Yeah, it's
I like everything, you know. I'm not a picky dude.
yeah.
It's just the gay pride things. Just I'm like, what are y'all doing? Y'all's painting a big target on y'all back. Yeah, it's good to have everybody rally around each other and be like, oh, you're this and that, and they appreciate each other. But y'all don't gotta do that with rainbows everywhere and all these flags representing your sexuality.
It's like
Cause
something you
there's
should
like,
keep to yourself, right?
exactly, it's something you should keep to yourself, or you could share with your friends if you're comfortable.
But
And
selling
you
out to the
guys should,
whole world, that's just asking for
that's
trouble.
something real dangerous.
Yeah.
That's something really dangerous.
Like, some
And
people just do not hesitate to make fun of something, even for the smallest thing. You know, like how,
nope.
what's her name? Oh, no, 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 what's his name? Fucking James Charles. You know,
James
like,
Charles.
he started, like, fucking messing with, like, younger kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, now he's, like, YouTube won't let him make money anymore. He's, like, all this shit's going on, and, like, you know, like, the biggest backlash? He's got, like, all the comments on it. Like,
What?
it's not just because of him. It's, like 30 to, like, 35% of them, of the comments are just because of, like, oh, the reason why he's doing this is because he's gay, or, like, gay people have a weird mind. It's like they're like psychologically dumb or like crazy. You know, like back then when, like let's say like way back then, like fucking in the 1800s probably. You know, like, oh yeah, this woman's smarter than me. Burn her, like that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
She's smarter than me. Witchcraft, you
yeah,
know, hang her
witchcraft.
up
She's
and
like
stuff
she's
like
brewing
that.
potions to be smarter than me. She knows how to do math. Women shouldn't know how to do math.
Yeah.
Like,
And I feel like trans people get the most hate
yeah, and they
out
go
of
through a lot
everybody in the
too.
community.
Like,
They do. Trans
hormonal
people get the most hate.
changes, going through it, the money it costs too.
Oh yeah. To surgically add on or remove the things you want.
Yeah. And like, it's a big leap for like you to lop off your private parts and then change it to something that's completely different. And like that takes like a lot of encouragement and therapy to go through before you can actually get done the surgery.
What'd you say?
I
My
said,
cousin came in.
oh, okay. I'll repeat again. Uh, but it does take a lot of like courage and like therapy, and like not therapy to change their mind, just therapy to go through this procedure, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I remember I was talking with one of my trans friends, and they had to like go through like a couple of months of like therapy to like approve, like the therapist like says like, yeah, okay, they're good, they're really set on it and all this stuff, and like they sign it and saying like, oh yeah, if you don't like what you are, then it's not our fault, you chose this path or whatever. But that's why they have
Right.
like a therapist to like talk to you about it before they go through the surgery, because they don't just get the surgery. They talk to a therapist.
Right.
They take like these weird pills, or like they take, I don't know what the hell they take actually, but some form of medicine for their hormones, so their body doesn't fight back, and then they get the surgery done. But like, think about the pain or the infections that maybe you could get. Like that would be a lot. Like I don't know how. Like personally, I don't know how like a female transitions into a male. Like how does that work? I know like it would be a little easier for male to transition into a woman because
a female.
Yeah, because you already can just.
All you gotta do is just cut off the ball.
Yeah, but the thing is too is that how are you gonna add a lump of meat onto a woman that acts like a male's private parts, and then
that
having
functions.
It work? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the real challenge.
Yeah.
Especially for doctors, I can't imagine how hard that is.
But they're making a bunch of money off of it, though.
Yeah, they are. But for trans people, like their mental state has to be really strong. Like you said, their mind has to be set, because like they're gonna have people telling them, no, it's not good, it's not worth it. They're like, yes, then no, then yes, then no, and then they're trying to cope, and they're like, I don't know what I want to do anymore, and then they're down, and then they gotta talk to the therapist, and they're like, oh, the parents are the #1 problem.
Yeah, especially with a lot of mothers and fathers that are, like, I mean, like, if I were to have a child, I would be okay what they do, but I would just say it's not going to be none of my business, nor it's not going to be none of my problem if you go through with it, because I support you, but don't, like, make me seem like the villain for accepting for who you are, and then you throwing it away. Kind of.
Right.
Not in a hurtful way.
That's the same with, like, me. Like, I'm not homophobic at all.
Well, then you would hate yourself.
Well, because I'm not straight. Okay, was that? I think that was like one of the dumbest things I said.
Yeah.
But like, that was so dumb. I lost my train of thought.
I don't think I'll be homophobic. Who's bisexual?
Oh yeah, I would say I would let my son do whatever he wants, because whatever he wants to do, that's his business. I'll support you 100%. It's just parents try to form their kids into whatever they want to be, and in parents' eyes, kids are stress-free and worry-free just because we don't gotta spend money as much money as they do.
Well,
like
the
they
thing
think
is,
since they pay the bills, they got all the authority.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, is that the reason why children are so carefree is because the people are doing the caring are the parents. And then it's like, oh yeah, some parents are like, oh, I didn't want you to grow up to be this, I wanted you to grow up to be that. Like, those types of things. And, like, imagine, like, the hardships people would have to go through just to actually accept their sexuality. Like, no one needs to fight a battle over something that someone just wants to be. Like, it kind of sounds a little childish, if it makes any sense to you, because, like, oh yeah, I want to be, like, this, and then someone just says, no, you can't. Why can't I? Because I said so. Like, why would you want to, it's like people, like, on Twitter make, like, oh yeah, I'm, like, cooking some hot dogs or some shit, and then, like, one guy who's just pissed off his mind, who just wants to, like, yell at somebody, comes on there, it's like, those hot dogs are trash. They're like, yuck you. What you got on there? Mold? Like...
Alright, continue.
What?
Continue.
You can't what?
You can continue.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Need to take a breather?
I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
Are you sure?
Alright, I'm sure.
You positive? Alright. So anyways, about we talking about mold and shit on a hot dog. Like, anyone is looking for someone to feel bad, and it sucks because there's not a good enough ratio of people who want people to feel good.
Yeah, I feel like there's not a lot of good people in the world. Like, they just wake up and choose aggression to put someone down with them.
Especially people who are part of the community that has become very popular now within the 2 years. Since from 2000.
And LGBTQ
yeah.
people are nothing but nice. Except, well, I had one bad experience with one asexual person, but that was about it.
I mean, the people that I've seen, I'm not saying all of them are nice. I'm just saying the people that I've met, yeah, they're pretty cool. It's just, yeah, some people are unfortunate to find people like what you found with that asexual friend who doesn't like messing around with anybody. I think that's what asexual means, right? It's like they don't like.
Yeah, it's like you
pleasure,
don't like
they don't-
intercourse or
yeah.
anything like that. You just like the personality.
Yeah. And the thing that comes from push to shove is that like a lot of people are being kicked down because of things that they just want to be. And it does suck knowing that's reality, but you can always believe in stuff. It's like the Bible, for example. We believe it, but what's the difference between believing in a gender and believing in the Bible? We don't know if Jesus. We don't know if Jesus. The only reason why, actually, I'll just stop right there. The only reason why it said some of these rules that were embedded into the Bible, saying like, oh yeah, don't eat pork, or else you'll be unclean, or like, don't sleep with a man, or don't sleep with a woman if you're a woman if you're unclean. The reason why those rules came to.
Or don't sleep with another man's wife.
Yeah, the reason why that was in the Bible was because there was a set of rules that didn't want to cause conflict, disease, and not prosperity. Well, like those two things, disease and conflict. Because pork was a very dirty animal back then, before Christ, and they didn't really have not a cure, but it was a dirty animal. Always rolled in the dirt and get syphilis or something like that. I don't know. And the reason why they say don't sleep with a person that's the same gender as you is because there was a lot of STDs. You could catch STDs really easily when you're the same gender as somebody. It's not because,
Right.
oh yeah, the reason why is because if you're gay, you're unclean. It doesn't say if you're gay, you're unclean. It's saying if you sleep with a man,
Right.
you're unclean. Or sleeping with a woman if you're a
Right.
woman. You know? It's like, it's things that people just want to believe. You know? It's like, oh yeah, since you're gay, I don't respect you. Like,
Right.
and the other thing, it's like basically saying, oh yeah, I don't like how you park that way. I don't respect you. It's like just the littlest things. Like, it shouldn't be such a big thing in the LGBTQ plus STQ RGB community. Like, as a person who is like in it, but not really a representative of it,
Right.
this is my opinion about it. I'm not saying mine is absolute. I'm just stating things that I think that I just want to state out there. So I'm not saying my my word overrules yours, but it's just coming from the sidelines and from the front lines of this. This is my thought, and I just want to share it. I'm not saying that I was a war chief commander and saying, "Oh yeah, this happened, that happened," but in theory we lost. Like, I don't want to tell lies
Right.
about this. This is just my true opinion on it. And if people get angry, people get angry. If people get mad, people get mad. It's just my thoughts about it and how I'm gonna share it.
Right. And a lot of people don't respect other people's opinions, especially if you're in the LGBTQ community.
But like,
You know.
why would people like not respect people for if they're in the Air Force or like if they're like why would they not have respect for that person? Like, oh yeah, you're from a different country. I don't have respect for you. That actually happens a lot.
Right.
Actually, when I was in going to a resort in Punta Cana, there were some American people, and we wanted to play volleyball with them. And it's like, oh yeah, can we play? And like they kept on like moving away, and, and we were saying, what's wrong? It's like, oh, we don't want to play with Canadians. And we're like, what? Yeah, like we were baffled. Like, what does our nationality have to do with any of this?
Canadians are amazing.
But I don't know what happened in the past with them and Canadians. But like, come on, like just because I relate to somebody that was Canadian doesn't mean I relate to them completely. It's like stereotypes.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, like oh, fucking. A lot of Islamic and Arabic people get hate on because they always think they're gonna do something really weird.
Boom.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. But like in theory, I mean, I have a bunch of Arabic friends. They make jokes about that a lot, and sometimes I don't know if they're joking. But the because I literally have a screenshot of me saying, "Hey yo, is this you, bro?" And he said, "No, but it's about to be." And I said, "What?" It's like me and my homies are gonna set this up, and I'm like, "Excuse me, who?" It's like, "Oh yeah, my two other Arabic friends that I know," which I won't blur out their name, but I'll name their like gamer tag Salty, and the other one, and they were like on it, and like they didn't even know what was happening. So I screenshot that with the friend that I was talking to, and I said, "Yo, bro, are you gonna are you actually doing this?" He's like, "Yeah, bro, I'm doing this with him," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like they all just huddled up and like they just worked it out just like in an instant, and they didn't even know what the hell was going on. They just said, "Are we doing something?" "Yes, we are."
Wow. See, I don't have any Arabic friends at all. Like, most of my friends are like all spread out across the world, like Norwegian, Switzerland, Ireland, Poland, UK, you know, multiple nationalities. And, well, that's just all I had to say.
I mean, I can add on to it. Like, you know, like how racism was a very big thing back then.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing that what LGBTQ plus people are struggling with today.
And asexuals get disrespected like crazily. Like, if you're asexual and you have friends, I feel like asexual people are more afraid to come out to somebody than trans people are. Because if you come up to a friend or a random stranger, say, "I don't like intercourse, it's gross," and then you go ramble on how you don't like sex or anything like that, or you don't like the body, they will stomp on you. And they'll
Yeah.
call you a weirdo.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the sad truth that is reality today, if you think about it.
Yeah, it's really sad to see. But I don't have many asexual friends. I have like mostly trans and pants and then gay and then bi.
I mean, have you always heard the joke about like, oh, you're pansexual? What type of pan do you like? Like the
You
cast
like
iron?
pans, yeah.
You like the
You like
skillet?
cast iron, you like that them skillets you cook them eggs on.
Yeah, I mean that's one funny part about it. I mean, like if people can make a joke about something that they are, then like it's no problem because like I can say like because they fully accept it, you know? But if someone gets really hurt about someone saying something about them that is true or well not true, like that would how would I put this? Like as me as a type 1 diabetic, like I laugh it off all the time because of course it's true. I'm a diabetic. You can't really say no to diabetes if I would stop to take my medicine. The only person that's gonna stop me is God, because I'm gonna be dead. but but it's like I can laugh it off, saying like my friend told me saying like, oh bro, like I didn't know you're emo. And I said, what do you mean? Well, you stab yourself all the time. No, that's my insulin. No, you're emo, dude. You always cut your wrists and stuff, and you inject medicine into you to make you feel good. I'm like, shut the hell up, please. And then one of my friends said, like when I was in my workout class, someone blurred out saying, "Look, he's doing heroin," and I'm like, "Come on,
Oh
man."
God. Oh my
And then everyone was
God.
like, trying to get them gains, bro. I'm like, shut the hell up. I'm just injecting my insulin. It's like, nah, bro, that's fucking heroin, dog. But if I can laugh that off and like everyone can joke about it, therefore I accept it and therefore it's okay. If someone doesn't accept something that they are, but they think that they are, then do you think it's like they're faking it? Like how people fake depression? Because the scary thing about
Right.
depression is not the suicide part, it's actually the matter of fact of not knowing that they're actually depressed is the scary part. Because,
And I feel like a
yeah.
lot of people with depression, they if that one friend is sad and they actually get checked out, like say we're in a group, we got a big group, and I'm always sad, and you guys are like trying to cheer me up, and I genuinely think something's wrong, but I don't tell anybody in the group. And then I tell my mom, and she's like, we can go to the doctors and get it checked out. So we get it checked out, and I actually get diagnosed, and I come back, and I gather everybody in our little group around, and I'm like, I got diagnosed with depression, and I have to take medication to keep myself stable. Then there's like people who be like, oh, I'm depressed too, I'm depressed too, I'm depressed, because they think it's cool, and they want people to feel bad for them.
And it's more
Like,
of
I
something
got
like
diagnosed.
with, what's it? Attention.
Right, they do it for the attention. And I got diagnosed with depression and PTSD myself. Like, wait, I didn't diagnose myself, but I went to the doctors personally and got myself checked out. And I had to take medication for 3 months. And it nothing annoys me more than me just trying to vent, and then that one person is just like, oh, I have depression too, I know how you feel. And I'm like, you just self-diagnosed yourself to seem cool in front of, like, no one has to impress themselves to look cool in front of me, because I don't judge. Unless you like water sports, then I'll judge you heavily. But
All the people out there that are probably, if they are gonna watch this, I don't even know if I'm gonna upload this, but people out there with water sports kings, they're just gonna be like, fuck you.
fuck your water sports. If you want water sports, join the Olympics. Beat Michael Phelps' swimming record. That's what water sports you should be into.
Oh my god.
But like, there's like jokes I can accept as well. Like, like I say I'm bi all by myself because I'm single and it's funny.
Yeah.
You know, I always found that joke funny,
Yeah.
and you know, I don't know any other jokes besides the
I mean,
pants
I
joke and
have
the
a
bi
joke for
joke.
my bisexuality. I remember fucking what happened was my friend said, "Oh yeah, bro, you're bi. You started off with 50% of the population, and now you're trying to go after 100% of the population. But the only, but you still get no bitches. You still get no bitches with 100%. Like you have that whole rack. You're only looking for 50. You didn't get anything, and now you're looking for that 100%, and you still got no bitches. The only thing that's bi about yourself.
Maidenless.
The only thing that's bi about you is that you're by yourself. Like same joke that you made.
Yo, the bi jokes are really funny. I really enjoy bi jokes.
Oh god. It's like how people who like
Oh,
who are
yeah.
bisexual. The only thing that was bi about them is that their humanity was lost, so they said bi.
Yeah. That shit said bi.
That just said, nope, not dealing with you today.
Nope. And what else?
I mean, we can go
Do
off
you
a
know a lot
different
about
topic.
sports?
Huh?
Do you know a lot about sports?
Well, what type of sports are you talking
Like any sports?
about? Basketball, football a little bit, even a little bit of triathlon, swimming or bleh, triathlon like swimming or stuff like that. If that's how you say it right, probably saying it wrong. A whatever. Um,
Okay.
like
Let me put this on the table. I'll put this on the table. Nothing angers me more than people saying that American football is a pussy rugby sport. It's like a rip-off of rugby.
well,
I will.
I mean,
I
enlighten
don't.
me because I don't know what that means. Like I don't know what that means.
So you know how rugby you don't wear pads at all,
Yeah,
right? It's
rugby
just a
you just
helmet and
full
you're
on
just your
tackling and you keep
muscly
on lobbing
body.
the ball. Yeah.
And football gets roasted by other nationalities because we wear helmets and pads and shoulder pads. It's the same thing as I think American football is so much better than rugby.
Well, because it's
Like,
more safe. Even though
and
there's a lot of people who get brain damage.
exactly. Like you can get just as much injuries as you can in rugby.
Hmm.
Dislocate your arm, fracture your shoulder, tear your ACL, your MCL. Like there's so much things you can do. But I'm tired of people of other nationalities disrespecting for American football cuz I love that sport and I grew up playing it. If people say American football is a ripoff of rugby, I'm not afraid to slap the shit out of you because that's disrespectful. That's fucking disrespectful. And if you say American football, me as a person who played football for 9 years, just go up to my face and say football is a pussy sport. It's a sport for pussies and crybabies. I will go up to a UK person and say soccer's are for pussies. You touch them and they tip over and they go crying. And then they get mad at me for that. I'm the bad guy for saying that. In my opinion, soccer sucks. Soccer is a fucking bad soft sport. It's for softies. And they have the audacity like they tell me they come at me first saying they talk shit about American football. What makes American football so bad? It's the same thing as rugby except with pads and the field goals like farther back. Except we don't spike the ball unless we score. Ow, fuck, man. Is there any other difference?
I mean, like the thing is that different sports require different athletes with different types of attributes. Like football requires you to be big, or like you don't even need to be big in football, but it's at least okay. Like let's say for a middle lineman who is spiking or who is giving the ball over to receive to the quarterback, he needs to do his job, and the way how he can do his job is by being big and tough. Usually, middle linemen are usually like fucking pretty goddamn big and tall to do their job. Like it's not something that you can just do, you know? It's something that you just need to like train a lot and all that stuff. With rugby, I'm not too sure because I don't really watch that much rugby, but all I do know is that you just toss the ball a lot.
Exactly. It's
But
like
with
rough
soccer,
and tumble.
yeah, but with soccer is that it's not really a contact game. It's more of a game of what's it? Of stamina. Because I remember I played soccer a lot, and like my thoughts about soccer, it's all right, but like playing it like if you're playing against like a fucking league team that's like the top of the world, you're gonna be like holy shit because the rules what make the game, and with rules make it harder. And like yeah, there's always like the occasional like they always make fun of soccer because everyone like fakes their injury and like I remember I saw a fucking video on my Instagram feed showing that this guy like got swept off his feet and like he like rolled like 3,000 times and then got put in a stretcher. But like it didn't even look that bad. Like it just all what happened was is that he kicked the soccer ball into his ankle, which is totally legal. And he was like, "Oh, okay, maybe I could like my thought process in his brain was probably like, "Oh, I could make this look like a penalty shot or like a penalty something, like to give him a yellow card." So like he tried to fake it, and literally on the slow motion camera, it's like him buffering for like 3 seconds of him running, and then he just falls.
Right.
Like that, yeah. But like it is a very hard sport. A lot of sports are really hard. Ping pong is fucking hard, even though like, oh, you think
Ping
it's
pong is
easy,
very
fucking,
hard.
oh, a small ball, a table, and two guys batting it out. But it's actually really goddamn hard if you're versing against a person who actually knows how to do it. If you're versing a person who's
Yeah.
really good at that sport, you're gonna be like, holy shit, like, because they're not on your turf, you're on their turf, you know, like even same thing for boxing or UFC or martial arts. Martial arts require different sets of skill and different types of fighting. There's like Muay Thai, Jiu Jitsu, like a bunch of stuff, kickboxing, boxing, all that, and like each sport has their own division of toughness. It's just we haven't been in there, so like we don't know what it's like. As a person who used to do jujitsu for a little bit, I got my shits rocked the first time I entered a fucking tournament. Like, it was not a official one. It was just like a subdivision one for like, oh yeah, if you think you're good, maybe you can like win us like something. Like it's like a mini tournament. First round, first round in like 30 seconds, dude just full on went pop, lights knocked out, and I was like waking up and I was like, where the fuck am I? And like this guy was like I don't know what belt he was, brown. It's like a brown belt, and I was like a white 3 stripe, and I got my shit rocked. Like I remember I went in there, I was like doing this, and all I saw was like his fist, and then me blinking, and I'm on the floor. Like some things you can't underestimate, even though it looks like it's soft on the outside. Same thing with soccer, same thing with football, same thing with rugby, even though rugby and football don't look that soft. But
No.
once you're on the field, you're
It's
going to be
like
saying a different story.
exactly. A lot of other people don't understand that. It's mostly UK people dissing on American sports, saying it's a ripoff of their sport. But in reality, like they're just talking trash on how a football player's body is and how skinny and scrawny they be. They don't know how muscular they are. If they go on Google, the strongest man in the NFL is DK. His name is DK Metcalf, and he plays for the Seahawks. This dude is he's built like The Rock, and maybe a little bit bulkier. Like he has an 8-pack probably. Like
What?
this dude is he's 6 foot. He's like 6'3", muscular as life, and just pure muscle. And he's a receiver. And people are in different countries are talking trash, saying it's a soft sport, this, that, and the other. But you have people who are built, fast, and strong as life, just like in rugby. And I don't talk trash on rugby. I don't talk trash on any other sport unless you talk trash on American football. 'Cause if you talk trash on American football, then that's when it gets personal. Because I love that sport with a passion, and I played it for so many years, and I will not let anybody disrespect it. Same thing with basketball. I love basketball, but I hate the crap out of Steph Curry. I want him to perish.
Why?
He's like a cheat code. He's like a cheat code. He could like throw it up. It's like, okay, he seduces the basketball before the game. So every time he shoots it, it's like, his tips of his fingers just rub the side of my lines. I'm just roll in the basketball hoop, but let me marinate him a little bit. Think it's just gonna fall out and then go in. And he won the championship game like 8 times. He was the MVP every single year. There's no one I hate more than Steph Curry in basketball. And I wrestled. I used to get my shit rocked and wrestled. I was a lightweight. I was in the lightweight class and everything. I got my shit beat by a girl.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, I don't want to rough her up. She's like pretty and shit, and you know, I'll feel bad if I slam her on. She hip tossed my shit.
Oh, she full on like fucking turned around and then just went whoosh.
And then threw me over her shoulder. I was like, God, I didn't know she had that strength. I landed flat on my back, and like, I got the wind knocked out of me. So I was like holding my chest on my back, and I was like, she pinned me. Like, she won in like a minute and 20 seconds in. Cause like, most of the time we was like circling around each other, like pump faking at each other and shit. She made one move on me and I lost. And I was like, oh my God. And then like my coach was like, what happened? I was like, she was so pretty. I didn't know she had that strength. And she was like, oh God, we need to take you to the bathroom and get you some food. That's one thing about wrestling. You're always on a time limit. And time goes by so fast. Like one match, you have to like sprint after the match, get food, use the bathroom, find the schedule or your bracket, find your next match, keep track of the time. You know, you gotta constantly keep your weight up, or you gotta contain the weight you have. So it's like, you gotta either eat more, or you gotta eat less. And for me, I had to eat way more. But like, my cousin's dad had me like spitting in bottles, doing the same like stuff as my little cousin. My little cousin is heavier than me. I'm not afraid to admit that. He was in a heavier weight bracket than me. It is what it is.
Well, yeah, there's
But we
kids
both-
that are like heavier than me, that are younger than me by
Yeah,
like 3 years,
I mean-
stronger. Like,
I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm lighter than my little cousin. And he's taller than me. By like a few inches. Maybe like an inch.
yeah, there's like fucking
It's not that bad.
14-year-old people who are taller than me.
Exactly.
Like,
So
why
I'm
should I
not
care?
afraid to admit. Like, props to my cousin for being heavier than me. Because I didn't have an appetite. But like, we both destroyed our brackets, and since I was living with him and his dad, Like we all we did was play in tournaments and tournaments and tournaments and tournaments. He kept on coming up. He had all first place trophies, and he was the only dude I could not beat in the end of the tournament. Every single time we made it to the championship, I had to verse him or one of my other little cousins, who was way more aggressive than me, and he was scarier.
Yeah, because you know with siblings, they're not holding back.
No, he gave me the look. He said, "I am not going easy." I lost by a point, like, cause I lost. He got a point. It was tied. He got a point with 3 seconds left, and I couldn't get up. His hands were just wrapped around me, and I couldn't break apart. If I would have broke out of that, I would have got 2 points and won. But I came in second. I lost to my little cousin. This dude is a beast. It's all on YouTube and everything. It got to the point where we filled up a whole garage with our tournament trophies, and it's on Facebook, and there's YouTube videos on it. And I'm like, God, so many trophies. There was so much it extended into our yard. We filled up a whole garage and like till the beginning of the garage doorway. That was just all our trophies combined. That wasn't only mine alone. And my cousin did states. He was a freestyler and all that. I only went to states one time, and I never freestyled one time. Now, when I think freestyle wrestling, I think pyrotechnics, lasers everywhere, and a UFC fucking octagon. But, like, I've actually never freestyled, ever. I've only been to states. And I've only been to states for basketball. Like, I didn't know I was really good at basketball until my first year. It got to the point where it was very unfair to put me and my little cousin on the same team because all we had to do was pass to each other. Because in basketball, all we did was train. Like, we woke up at 5 in the morning every day, dribbled around the block, went to the gym, did like leg day, then arm day, then like we had a schedule. Then we went home, jump rope, then we did more basketball drills, then we ate, then went to bed. That was our everyday routine. And it was like unfair to the other kids because, you know, they joined basketball just for something to do, just to get out of the house, or the parents want them to try something new.
Yeah.
They got absolutely shit on by me. And I'm not trying to be cocky or anything, because there is proof of me literally shitting on these kids. In every league I've been in, there's proof that I literally destroyed these kids. Me and my little cousin. And there were so many times where we versed each other in the championship. We played in 5 leagues in total. And every single time, I met my cousin in the championship. And we don't like, it was like in every league we didn't know our stats per game until after the game or season was over. So after every league we played in, they posted the MVP, this, that, and the other, rookie of the year, this, that, and the other, points per game, stats. Me and my cousin both averaged like 20 points per game. And we had a competition in the championship. Whoever lost or had the most points on each other's head when we versed each other had to buy the other person something.
Okay.
And it was like, even on our bad games, we never had single digit points. On my worst day, I dropped 15. And I had a stomach virus.
How'd you know about this
So,
virus?
huh?
How'd you know about this virus?
I didn't know until the game was over. Because there was a doctor there, and I was throwing up after the game. And he was like, oh, you wasn't hydrated. I said, bro, my stomach is killing me. I got checked out. I got deported to a hospital. And they said, yo, you got this bug in you. And, you know, that happened. I dropped 15. and my cousin dropped 14. I had a big old basket of snacks that day. But there were so many days where we tied, and it was unbelievably close in the championship. He had 20. I had 17. All I needed was a 3. And I swatted this little girl. Like, the basketball leagues were not, only manly based. Like, females were allowed to play too. Oh, I felt so bad I had to guard a girl because I swatted the shit out of her to the point where it went on the other side of the court. And I was sprinting with no shoes on because my shoes flew off. And she was fast as hell too. So I was like running. I was like, I have to get this 20. I stopped, pivoted, shot the 3, and she tried to block me. But she jumped on top of me, and I flew on my back, and she was on top of me, and I slid under some chairs into the next court. And guess what? I made it. I got my 20, and I was like hurting too much to make the foul shot because I slid under chairs, and I hit my hand, and it was hurting so bad. So I had my teammate shoot it. I had my 20. I was happy. I won the game. After that, we had a really good time. We called it a tie because he got out the rest of the game because when I get substituted, he gets substituted because he's the only guy who can guard me.
Yeah.
Because I broke another kid's ankles. I broke a kid's ankles, and I sent him flying to the bench, and he landed on his dad, and then he got pissed at me. And he was pushing me and shit. And then I got pissed and I crossed him up some more. And then I pushed him back to his dad. And then I got ejected. Like I didn't try to hide it. I crossed over, he stayed on me, and I full on just pushed him. And I said, take your son. I was like, take your fucking son, bro. He was fucking on me. No, I'm not having it. So I got ejected. Funnest day of my life, by the way. Don't regret a thing. That kid fucking deserved it. I've never been so proud of the stiff arm in my life. That kid might have been younger than me, but I had no regrets. He had a palm straight to his face, and I was happy. Yeah, I had to apologize, and he didn't say sorry back. But oh my god, the car ride was amazing. I was happy. I was a happy kid. Never been so happy to stiff arm a little child in my life.
I didn't know it was gonna go to that.
I was so happy to stiff arm that child. He had just palm in his face, and I said, "Have your child back." I was like, he wasn't even mine, but you can have him. That was the 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I am not being that child's daddy. I might be a year older than him, but I am not that child's daddy. You are his. You can have him. Have that stiff arm. Eat it for dinner. Fucking suck it. I was happy. So, I had such a fun basketball year until the last season of my city league game. It was actually a Jewish league. We played at a Jewish community center. I wasn't Jewish, but I still fucking played. So it was championship, and we played in a city. This was 20 to 40 minutes away from my hometown. We was like far from home, and the worst shit happened. This was early first quarter. I was like not hitting any of my shots. First timeout called. Coach is like, "We need you. You're our leader." Gave me the inspirational speech because all the kids are trash. And he's like, your cousin's dad told me you guys train this, that, and the other. you know, it's kind of unfair to the kids because they're all new to this and they do this shit for fun. So bring it home for us. I was like, alrighty. So at first the ref was like, yo, I can't play because it's unfair. And I was like, it's because I'm black. And I was saying that in my head. But I was genuinely laughing out loud, putting that thought in my head. I was like, this can't be serious. This can't be serious. So I didn't say anything about me being mixed. But I played, you know, first quarter, first time out, the coach told me to bring it home. My cousin's on the fucking other team. And I'm like, this dude is bigger than me. This dude is bigger than me. Like muscular. So if I go up for a layup, this dude can boop, and I'll go flying out that door. So I was like, do I shoot mid-range shots? Or do I shoot threes? Or do I keep on rubbing my balls on their face? And I chose rub my balls on their face because
So you're trying
I
to
was
lay up
little.
a lot?
I was trying to lay up a lot. I was really small. Really small. I was like 5 foot. And everybody was like, what, 5'6" at the time?
Mhm.
Like these kids were bigger than me. It was like middle school size. And I was like the baby on the court. So I was getting up there. I had a point to prove. I was like, I can jump high, and I'm gonna fucking show you I can jump high. So I was doing layups a lot to the point where they was sick of me. I had 10 points alone first quarter on just layups. No mid ranges, no threes, just pure layups. Coach calls a timeout. You know, my cousin's on the bench. He's like, he tells my cousin to get up, yelling at the other kid. Well, he's not really yelling. He's like talking to the kid. He's like, you gotta play up. He's like crouching down, showing him how to play defense. And I'm like, drinking my water. I'm like, this kid can't guard me. Everybody's like patting my back and shit. I'm like, my cousin's gonna get on 100%. And my cousin gets on, right? We're having a back and forth battle. We would like, the kids were too scared to shoot on each other. So they passed it to me most of the time, and they passed it to my cousin most of the time. Because everybody knew we worked out and did basketball every single day. Yeah, we were sick of it. And we felt we was forced against our will, which we kind of was because we said no, and we still got in trouble and had to do it. But, excuse me.
It's okay.
But we still did it. We still did it. We still did it. And, you know, I blew past my cousin. I crossed over, ran past my cousin. You know, my cousin's behind me, and this big guy's in the paint, like, playing defense. He's, like, sick of me playing, like, doing layups on him. The first thing he does is jump out with me in midair. He swipes my knee, and I land knee first in the court. Ever since then, that entire day I was not able to walk. Actually, for that entire month, I wasn't able to walk. He broke my knee.
Yeah, you did tell me about that. Well, you didn't. You did say that you did injure it from playing sports, but you didn't tell me how you did it.
That's the story. I was in a city league game, championship, laid up. This kid was sick of me. He jumped up with me, and like when he jumped, he spread his legs, and it hit my legs, and my legs crossed, and my knee bent, like kneecap first into the hardwood floor, and I felt a part of my knee missing. Like I was like, I don't feel a part of my knee anymore. I'm like rolling, I'm screaming. Everybody's like quiet, and I'm like, bro, don't make noise. I'm screaming my ass off, bro. I'm like in so much pain because I wanted people to cancel out my screaming. And they was like, get up. Like, my cousin's dad was brutal. So he thought, you know, it was a little bump. I'll be fine. He was full on screaming, get up, get up, get up or you're in trouble. So, my teammates lifted me up, and because the coach was like, help him up, help him up. And the coach, and they was like, are you fine? Are you fine? And I was like, yeah. I got the ball, turned around, tried to take my first step, and crumbled. And that's when I got pushed to my limit, and I couldn't move that entire day. That's when my team lost.
Because you're carrying the weight so much you broke your leg.
Yes. I was carrying the whole team, and I broke my knee while doing it.
Okay.
I still got my medal from last year before I broke my knee, which it's one medal. I wanted way more. Could have had 3, but that bitch broke my knee.
Was that supposed to rhyme?
No.
Well, is that all you have to say for now, since we're gonna be wrapping it up shortly?
Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Just don't diss on football. If you're from the UK or Norway or wherever the fuck you from, and I hear you talk shit about American football, I will have a bounty on your head.
Is that all you have to say?
Yeah, just don't talk shit on American football, or you will perish. You'll get Thanos snapped.
Alright, well, I guess if that's all, then I guess that's all we're gonna have to say for now. Any final things before we're done?
No.
No?
Just don't talk shit on American football. That's about it.
Okay, well, I guess that's gonna be enough for, I don't know, our first podcast.
Yes, I'd say that went perfectly.
Alright, well, I guess, see you next time.
Bye
There
bye.
you go.
If the camera was over there. Bye bye. I was like waving at the wrong wall and shit.